Welcome back, everyone. This is Ready or Not
Football Edition. I'm Nate the Great.
I'm Chris Stacks. We're excited for Week 7.
Week 7.
Woo!
Hoping it's better than last week went. Well, I have high hopes for Thursday night tonight.
I mean, this is the first one I'm actually looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
Like the
Last
last few, Amazon did not get what they paid for.
Yeah, agreed.
I see why they're going to Friday night.
Are they doing that every week or?
No, next year they're doing the Black Friday special where it's going to be a football game on Friday night, but hopefully they have better teams.
So I'm confused about that because Black Friday is obviously after Thanksgiving, which Thanksgiving already has the 3 games. They have Lions, they have Cowboys, and they have, who's the third team again? I always forget the third team.
I'm not sure.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Yes, I just remembered as you said it.
But they're still going to have the Thursday games just like always. But they're planning on having the Amazon Prime game on Friday for that week instead of Thursday.
So that takes a game away from Sunday then.
Right.
That's what I was.
But it's not taking away from their night.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
So we've got some good games, not only in the NFL this week, but we got some great games going on inside the league. You know, the matchups right now, or the standings right now, are extremely close. I definitely got some people I'm going to take some shots at this week because I'm not confident in their lineups. But looking at what pickups went on this week, was there any waiver wire pickups that stood out to you?
Let's see. Well, my brother picked up Ayuk. I know he had a great game last week, but what's going to happen this week? Can he repeat it?
I did write that down and put a hashtag next to it saying chasing, because Ayuk has skills. They've said this since he came in the league, but he never shows up back-to-back weeks.
So, I mean, that's what happens. Remember, my brother seems to have weird luck with picking up these people. So
he's going to be great.
I was doing this last night to him. He said he's getting pissed that we're talking too nice about him now. So it's fueled either way.
I saw your brother also picked up Alec Pierce.
Yes.
So it was kind of a theme for your brother this week. A lot of the people that he picked up, to me, are dart throws. So they're going to have boom games or they're going to have bust games. If you pick the right week, it can be a big deal for your team, but you pick the wrong week. Mm-hmm. You know, in our league right now, if you have somebody that gets a 0 or a 3, outside of a tight end, it's going to screw you. Obviously, he's got Kelsey for that. But outside of that, a 0 can be really hurtful.
Of course, especially when you're up against one of the leading teams in the league, which is you this week.
Right.
This week.
If you're against you, it's a different story.
Yeah, apparently. But I'm against Champ this week, and I'm looking to take her down again.
I like it. Anything else? Anything else you saw?
For pickups, as far as the waivers concerned, I saw you picked up Anderson. That was interesting. I want to see what Anderson can do this week. I
did pick up Anderson, but I was actually forced to drop him because I had a player come off IR, which is Chris Olave.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
So I ended up, and I'm not against having Robbie on the bench or on my team, but over Olave right now, Olave is the number 1 for whoever the hell the quarterback's going to be for the Saints.
Which is funny. I had Michael Thomas in my IR, then they changed him to questionable, so they forced me to take him out. So I dropped him, and then they took him out again the next day. I was like, you could have just left him there.
They don't even know. I will say, Kenyon Drake for Tebow, that was a big pickup. That could be a big deal.
Well, I have them, but that wasn't. At first, I only did the waiver wire pickups. Then these were after the waiver wire was done.
Right.
So we have Drake with Tebow. That would be interesting. I was looking at Drake, but he's still, because I think Josh Jacobs is coming back.
No, sorry. No, J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. Okay.
Because he got traded. He got sent from the Las Vegas Raiders over to the Baltimore Ravens now. And so but Dobbins, like I told you, I've had knee surgery. And I didn't have a major surgery like he did with 3 different ligaments. I had 1. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was the minute that I felt it start tightening up during rehab, it kicked me back an extra couple weeks.
Okay.
So if they're smart with the amount of money they've got invested in Dobbins,
maybe play him a little bit, but
you're not going to see
have Drake play the majority of the snaps.
Yeah. So I think this week Drake could be a very decent fill-in. It's not going to be Alvin Kamara, but it's going to be a good fill-in.
I know Kamara had he had a good week last week, but I think the week before
he's been hurt.
He's been hurt, but let's see.
He's finally back.
Finally back.
Finally back. My goodness, it took way too long. I saw you picked up Gallup, especially with Dak back in the lineup. I think that could be huge.
That's literally why I picked him up.
Because
Dak back, Gallup could do.
Well, remember Gallup was out for the beginning of the season. Then he had to work back up to speed, and now you've got Dak coming back. And so if somebody tries to double CD, you mean you're leaving Gallup open or you're leaving Zeke open?
Right.
Pick one. You leave Gallup open. Gallup is a good wide receiver. He's a 1B. So that could be, that's an easy touchdown, 2 touchdowns, especially against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else?
No, I mean, I picked up Mariota, but I have obviously Stafford's on bye, which will go over the bye teams as well. And then, you still have Lamar Jackson, which I have hopes from this week. They're against.
You got Lamar Jackson, but if Bateman's
Bateman
back, which I just threw Bateman on my team, because when Bateman and Jackson are both together, they're both playing well. In blitz situations, which they're playing against the team that likes to blitz this week, if Bateman's on the field versus off the field. So off the field, Jackson has 1 touchdown and 100 and something passing yards on downs that he's blitzed.
Mm-hmm.
But when Bateman's on the field with Jackson and they're being blitzed, he then has 7 touchdowns and 300 plus yards. And it's almost the exact same number of snaps. So when you put that together, you got the Browns who like the blitz. Having Bateman back could be a really big deal this week, especially for you, which we'll talk about in a second. The other 2 things I wanted to hit on quick, I saw Prue pick up the Patriots. We're seeing with Christina, with Champ, that your defense can put up some points for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the Pats this week, because the Pats have a matchup where I think they could definitely rack up some points just like last week. And then I went out on a limb and I dropped the Chargers this week. They didn't do what I wanted last week, and picked up the Cowboys. Why?
Because Cowboys are against the Lions.
The Cowboys against the Lions.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
Goff's kind of slow.
Speaking of Goff, Christina picked up Goff.
I'm going to touch on that as well because I got a feeling Goff is going to spend a lot of time on his back and he's going to get to know our outside linebacker very, very well this week.
Well, I hope you played Goff.
I just got a bad feeling for him. But okay, so from that, let's go into this week's matchups. Start at the top or start at the bottom?
Start at the bottom.
Start at the bottom. Okay, so we got Belichick himself versus Team Steiger. That's 3-3 versus 1-5. Both coming off a loss, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a couple things that stood out to me. Was there anything that stood out to you specifically with these 2 teams this week?
Steiger still has Jones in him. The Giants are doing well, but the Jones is not. He's doing fine.
He's doing good enough.
He's keeping the team together, basically.
Right.
So I don't know if he has a backup.
No, he doesn't.
He does. Okay. So he doesn't have a backup, and then honestly, I know from having to pick up a QB selection is a little sparse right now.
This week.
So I get it. You have him, you play him. We'll see what Deebo Samuel does this week. We have JTT back.
Mm-hmm.
So can he put up the numbers that he used to? I mean, you're against the Titans right now. Titans are not doing terribly, but they do have a pretty decent run defense.
Yep.
So off the injury, can he put up the numbers that he used to? We'll see.
The good thing for him is the fact that Jackson is out, so Jackson can't come in and clean up for him. But that's one thing that I highlighted because I went down and looked at everybody's list. The JTT and CMC. CMC's on the trading block.
Yeah.
So are they going to highlight him just enough, but limit him to make sure he doesn't get hurt? So they have that option to trade him. I know they're looking for a lot, but if they want to get rid of him, they don't want him to get hurt either.
But at the same time, what does he want to do as well?
He wants to win a championship.
So he knows he's not going to do that in Carolina.
Right.
So he'll show out.
But I'm saying, what if they limit his touches?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right now, CMC gets his points because he touches the ball 70% of plays.
Mm-hmm.
But if they give him 30%, even if he balls out, if he only gets 10 points, his projection's 15.
Yeah.
You're expecting 20 from him. That's a big deal. And then I was also looking at, I agree with you on Debo, but I think Debo's got a great option this week because they're going against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to put up points, and they're going to run the ball with Jeff Wilson, and they're probably going to do a lot of those sweeps with Debo because we know Debo's fast as hell.
Yeah.
Jacobs being I think back from bye this week. That's going to be a big deal for him as well. I see he finally put Cooper in his lineup. Good job. But on Belichick yourself, I just told you.
Which we're about to talk about too. But
I think Kyler Murray and Dak are both going to ball out. Dak against the Lions, back in the lineup, and he's been chomping at the bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put Kyler with DeAndre Hopkins back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Dak
Against the Saints.
right, that have been very porous.
Yeah.
That can literally be. I'm gonna put my stamp right now. Kyler Murray has 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown this week, minimum.
And this could be just what Murray needs for the rest of the season.
Yep. I know they got Robbie Anderson on the other side. You gotta develop that connection, but he's a speedster.
Right.
It could be a very good week. Very good week. And then you got Fournette. Fournette, I think, is going to be a dangerous guy this week against Carolina. They have a very porous rushing defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, you don't go porous on Leonard Fournette. You're going to get hurt.
So, I mean, yeah, it's very possible, you're right, that Belichick herself could put a lot more points up than she's projected.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about for Steiger, and I'm not sold on who his teams are playing against this, or his guys are playing against.
Now, that being said, though, I forgot to mention, look who he's finally putting in.
I did. I mentioned that real quick because I saw that. I thought it was funny. Steiger turned down my trade, and now he decides to play Amari Cooper.
Oh, that's who you tried trading?
Yeah.
But for weeks you've been saying, like, put in Cooper, and finally puts him in. So let's hope this week he does work.
I think Cooper. I'd say Cooper will have 15 points this week, so he'll outscore his projection. But the biggest ones to me is if Dak comes out and does 30, Kyler comes out and does 30, and
but
Jones.
Now, what does Brady do after that embarrassing loss against the Steelers last week?
I think they're going to lean on the run.
You think they're leaning on the run?
I think they're going to lean on the run. I think Evans might have a touchdown. I think Brady might throw for 200, but I think they're going to lean on the run this week, and honestly, kind of give Brady a little bit of a break. Let the team build some momentum, get some cohesion going, and I think. If I'm wrong, Brady's going to go for 305.
So at the same time, though, because you said you lean on Fournette, but what if he throws it to Fournette and Fournette goes off?
Oh well, that's if it's one of those Tagovailoa. Jesus, his name kills me. I say Tua's name.
Tagovailoa?
Yeah, Tagovailoa. if it's a him where you're throwing a 1-yard screen pass to Hill and he runs it for 99 yards.
Brady loves his screen passes.
I know, but if he does that with Fournette, then yeah, Brady could still have a great game.
Yeah.
But if it's actually handing the ball off,
yeah, of course,
then I don't think it's going to be that same thing.
No, I get that.
So I am going with Belichick yourself. Or sorry, Belichickian. Belichick yourself. Funny enough, is in my other league.
No, you're right.
Oh, it is?
Yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Belichickian is in your other league.
Yes. Okay. So Belichick yourself. I'm going with this week.
I'm gonna stick with Steiger.
Ooh.
Let's go, Steiger. Let me down last time though. Come on, Steiger. I believe in you.
So next up, we got Tebow and Najee's in Paris. What'd you see in this one?
This one, well, I mean, Herbert had a little subpar game last week. Let's see if he can pick it up, put up the numbers. I'm never sold on Carr. And against the Texans.
Yeah.
Texans have a decent pass defense. We'll see what happens. But on the other side, though, Mahomes is going to do work no matter what. He always does. He can put up points. Then you have Wilson, who now is even playing. Because he had the lat injury, and then he had the hamstring, I think, right?
As of right now, he's still in, and he said he's good to go. But I don't think they're smart to play him, but I'm not the coach.
Yeah. Who do they even have as their backup? Well, we're going off topic. We're talking about the fantasy teams.
I have no idea.
Chubb had a terrible game last week.
He did, but look at Chubb over the year.
No. I think he's going to ball out this week.
I do too.
So especially against a South Baltimore run defense.
Yeah. I think they're going to feed the heck out of him and just let him work. And I think that's going to be how they control Lamar.
Yeah.
You give the ball to Chubb and let him run and grind the clock. You don't want to get into a speed match against Lamar, especially if Bateman's in. Because they can score in 30 seconds and then you're back on the game and you try to do it again.
True. So try to run down his offensive snaps.
Yep.
The time of the
limit
he has. Amon St. Ross.
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
See, that one I can say.
He's back
off
his injury. So I think he'll do pretty much work. I know it's against your Dallas, which is tougher, but he does good work. I think Goff can get him the ball quite a few times.
If Goff can get him the ball, everybody knows we give up yards, we don't give up touchdowns. The thing is, Goff has to have time to throw the ball.
Yeah, not true. So will the O-line hold long enough
Yep.
for Goff to get St. Brown the ball?
That's the
They have
question.
Godwin on the other side, so he's fresh off injury as well, right?
Well,
Or
he's
last
been
week.
playing for 2 weeks now, but he's
That's
not
right. That's
looking
right. But his hips were like that's right. I remember now. Sorry, I forgot about that. So let's see what he can do now. But like you said, maybe they're not going to throw the ball. They're going to run it more.
So funny enough, that's one of my notes. Is I put Godwin, ETN, Najee, and Herbert all as negatives for his team this week, and I actually, to me, Carr. If it says 18, I'm expecting Carr to do 18. I'm not expecting him to do more. He might do a little bit less, but he hovers in that mediocre land.
Which I mean, if you can count on that, then fine.
Yep.
You
That's
know?
all I would count on for him. I don't
Yeah.
count on anything extra. If it happens, great. But to me, you gotta hope Herbert is able to ball out, and I'm hoping he does because I got Geno. If he balls out, hopefully that forces Geno to throw the ball to Metcalf and Tyler Lockett more. I score more points in my game, but I'm honestly a little bit worried that they're going to control him. They're not going to let him ball out yet, and then you might hopefully we'll see more down the road. But I'm not sold this week.
And then obviously you have Derrick Henry back as well.
You got Henry and Chasen. Those are the two wild cards to me for Najee. But I'm going with Tebow. Between who was I looking at? I don't love his defense, not against the Jets, but Metcalf.
Who was his defense?
The Broncos.
Broncos.
Metcalf, Amon-Ra, Chubb, Eckler, and then Mahomes. Which Mahomes, if the San Francisco 49ers are able to slow it down and grind, he might not do a 30, 35-point game. He might do a 23, 20-point game, which also, is dangerous.
So, but my question also with Tebow is Russell Wilson. What if he ends up not playing? Who does he pick up last minute to replace him? And that's a 4-5 game. That's going to limit your selections.
Oh, it really is. So if you're looking at it right now, so who are you saying you're going to take Najee's in that one?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it depends on. So this is the dangerous one right here. Is if Jameis Winston is playing.
But Jameis Winston plays tonight.
Oh, he does. If he plays, I'd pick him up and play him over. I'm not gonna lie. You got Zach Wilson. And Tannehill. And Ryan.
Well,
there's a few people on the waiver wire right now.
yes, but you'd have to pick him up right now, which means he's dropping someone on his bench.
I would not play Russell this week. That scares me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're picking Tebow and he sticks with Russell Wilson, hoping he'll play, that could be his downfall.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Which is why I'm going for Najee.
Just like I said before, if you get a 5 or 0 or 5 in a big spot, but specifically in quarterback, you're done. You already lost.
So as it stands, I'm leaning towards Najee's.
I will agree with that, but I know Tebow, he's somebody that he likes his football. I got a feeling he'll fix that. Now we go into, Nate the Great versus Champ. Right now, Nate the Great is the favorite. Champ. I wonder how many losses in a row before you have to take Champ out of your name? Or do you just go back to one Champ?
I don't know. Is it something that deteriorates over time?
I feel like it deteriorates. I don't care
So
if
maybe
you got
take
two
off
Champ.
a couple letters or something.
Yeah,
Champ.
Cha. So 3-3 versus 1-5. She's lost 1. You've lost 4. So when I was looking over this game, there was a few things for her that really stood out to me. Garoppolo is going to be a game manager this week. How do we keep Patrick Mahomes off the field? You don't want to get Garoppolo into a game where he's trying to battle against Mahomes, because if he does, you're probably going to have 3 picks.
Yeah.
And that's going to negate the heck out of your quarterback, which you hope, yeah. And then you got Goff. Like I said, Goff, I really feel like is gonna get to taste a lot of the Dallas turf this week, and they're
All things I'm hoping for.
in Dallas, so that could be very dangerous for him. I do think Zeke's gonna ball out, just like last week. Well, we said he was 6 yards a carry or something like that, 6-point-something yards a carry.
I think it was like exactly 6.
So 6 yards a carry, and you're going against a Detroit weak ass running defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might give him the ball. I just got a feeling.
Yeah.
Brees
Which
Hall,
means he'll probably do closer to 20 points.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I really think he will. You've got Mike Williams, not opposed to that this week, especially even if Keenan Allen's back. I don't think he's going to be a focal point. He's going to be more of a distraction. Mike Evans, that one I'm a little worried about. Kittle, I think, is going to be a go-to person this week. So there's a few people on her team that I'm excited about, but there's a lot of people I'm worried about.
Right.
Looking over at your team, you got Lamar Jackson, and like I told you, if Rashad Bateman plays against Cleveland, I think that's going to be the game changer. That's where Jackson can do his 30, 35 points. You get 30, 35 out of him, and Goff and Garoppolo combined for 20, combined for 24. that hurts.
Yeah. Helps me.
Mariota, I'm not looking at a lot there.
I'm hoping he puts up his projection. That's all I'm asking for.
I think against Cincinnati, especially if they let him use his legs, I think he can put up his projection.
I mean, looking back at him, he's been consistent 15, 16 points, which is all I want.
Swift, I'm not loving. Not against the Cowboys. Not with Micah Parsons. He's coming for blood right now. He wants to be the defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. That boy is leading the team. They're on fire right now with defense. You got Aaron Jones. I think he wants to make up for last week.
I want him to want to make up.
Remember, I just traded for him in a different league, so I want him to too.
But Swift, going back on Swift, this is his first week back, so I know you're looking at Micah Parsons to stop him. But if he wants to go off,
but will they let him, or are they going to limit him and rotate Jamal?
I don't know. I have Jamal, but I can't.
Oh, you can't play both.
I can't play both of them. Yeah.
Devonte Adams. You got Jacoby. Jacoby to me is a dart throw. Devonte, I think you could get your projection, which again that goes back to the last game we talked about. Mm-hmm. And again, Michael Gallup, I think you could see some surprise stuff out of him this week. Eno, I'm not in love tonight because I think it's going to be the Kyler Murray show.
No, I'm actually probably switching Eno out, but I haven't decided for whom yet. Maybe Boyd. Actually, I'm liking Boyd in that matchup.
Okay, I like that one too. So looking at that, I do have you right now because I'm not sold. I think that her quarterbacks are over projected by at least 7-8 points. So
which, going into this week, that's the first thing I looked at because she has her quarterbacks are on bye.
Right.
Cousins and Allen. So she had to pick up two, whatever's left.
Yep. And I got a feeling with those two quarterbacks, I think she could definitely lose 7-8 points. And I think with Lamar, you could end up getting an extra 13. So that right there swings it way your way. Mm-hmm. And even if somebody goes off on her side, and I think it could be close, but I think
we all know I need to win.
Yeah, I think you win by a couple. So in the last game of the week,
we got you against my brother. So as of right now, it's still a pretty close game.
And by the way, Christina, nice job trying to take the 3 tight ends approach last week versus Will. You can't try and steal somebody's power though and think it's going to make you win. You know, this doesn't work like that. So instead it went against you. But I just had to point that out. Good job.
It actually probably gave him more power.
I think so. I think it gave
it actually
him more
funneled
power.
some of the points from your team to his.
It pushed it over. They knew who the leader of the 3 TEs was. So it just gave him more.
So side note, kind of off that topic. So talking about your game and my brother's game, something my brother keeps harping me on, which annoys every time. So he's talking about how he has the best defense. And I'm not talking about team. For some reason, every time he plays, the team he's against does a lot worse than they're supposed to. Yeah. So if that's true, it's not looking good for you this week.
I know.
I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It's not a correlation. It just happened to happen. But it keeps happening, so who's to say?
Yeah, I agree. It must be the goat.
Now, that being said, brother obviously has Burrow in right now. Burrow's on a hot streak right now.
And he's playing against Atlanta.
Playing against Atlanta.
I'm hoping that they use a whole lot of running backs and don't do a lot of Burrow.
I'm honestly looking at Burrow putting up about 28, 29 points this week. I think he's going to overdo his projection.
And that's why I'm hoping that Geno is forced to throw.
If Geno's forced to throw, that's going to be a side-by-side for the most part there. Tua, I think Tua's going to ball out this week. So you have Tua's back against a soft Steelers team. And and you have it's a Sunday night game. So I think he's going to do well, put up some points. I know it's down here in Miami. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Rodgers had a terrible game last week.
I don't know what he's doing.
So will he, like Aaron Jones, also want to make up for last week?
If I remember right, his whole season's
been
15, 17, 15, 4. Like, if he does 15, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what it is. It's against the Commanders. Commanders don't have a great defense. So this could be the week that he puts up numbers. We'll see. I'm not 100% on that.
I agree.
Obviously, you have Kamara back. Kamara back in full force.
100%.
So he could overdue projection as well. But Cardinals are a little harder on run, so we'll see if we can stop that.
The reason I'm not worried is because of the fact that he doesn't run.
Fair enough.
You want to talk about screen game?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's all from Kamara.
But then you have Barkley on the other side, which Barkley can be a game changer.
I'm worried that that could literally be a
and you're against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville has been this year. They look good, and then just mess it up.
Terrible.
Mess it up, which Barkley could be the one that caused them to mess it up.
Yep.
So obviously those are some of the main ones.
It's in Jack, so I'm hoping.
You have Waddle, who's questionable right now. If he plays, that will actually help you with Tua.
Yep.
So that can play both sides. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb against the Lions. I think he's going to put up points this week, especially with Dak back. And then Pittman could be, I think he could be a little boom this week against Tennessee. So he's projected 11.16. I'm going to say about 16, 17 points. I think he'll get at least one touchdown and quite a few receptions and yards. So obviously Kelsey, always going to put up points. Is it going to be 4 touchdowns like it was 2 or 3 weeks ago?
I hope not.
If he does, then you're done right there.
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not.
But Kelsey can be that guy that just shoots up, will score.
Oh, yeah.
Then, I mentioned Ayuk earlier. So Ayuk had a game last week. Can he do back-to-back?
Right.
If
or
he does,
is it the Debo show?
Or is
if
it
it's
the
the
Debo
Debo Kittle show and he gooses, that's the danger.
Yeah. So we'll see. But if it becomes a shootout anyway, it could be both.
True.
So, but that, once again, that also will help. No, that one doesn't help you. I'm thinking of another game. But you have Bateman. Bateman's back. If he plays with Jackson, that could put up a lot of points as well. So this one is...
There's a lot of boom busts on both sides.
On both sides. So I'm leaning towards my brother on this one. I think he'll win. Obviously, I want the league to be a little more balanced. So maybe lose. But at the same time, I don't want my brother to lose. But it's looking like I think his...
now, because I didn't say this before. I didn't want him to know my key points that I'm focused on in this game. So just to give you guys a little bit of a thought process that I'm going through, I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers right now. I am worried about Barkley. The one thing that is he's in Jax. What if Jax decides to show up, or what if it's a 3-3 game?
I mean, that's exactly it.
Waddle might end up being a decoy with that shoulder. Hey, let's throw him out there. Let's hit him a couple times on the outside.
It could start off that way. Then if they end up not covering him, they can start throwing to him.
Oh, they'll still cover him. They're not going to leave Waddle open. That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
But I'm looking at Robert Tonyan, which you breezed right over. Randall Cobb's out. The last time that Randall Cobb was out, Robert Tonyan got like 11 targets and scored a touchdown. If Tonyan ends up putting up 15 points, how much to Kelsey does that help me in the game?
But if Tonyan does well, that's also Rodgers.
It is. But I'm sure Rodgers will throw a pick. He's been amazing at it this year. I think the Cowboys could score me 20 this week. And I think Damien Pierce is going to be my secret weapon this week against Las Vegas. I think Damien Pierce this week scores 20 points. That one and Tonyan are my 2 biggest question marks this week if they go off.
When I did miss this one, Kirk, I don't love on my brother's team right now. So
I just dropped him. That's why your brother has him.
Who he has to play otherwise is Allen. If he plays, could be a decent play, but we don't know about that either. So I mean, we'll see about that one.
Like I said, with us, both teams right now are sitting on a lot of people that are boom bust. Tua could come out and do nothing, and I'm screwed. Geno could come out and he hasn't done nothing all year, but he could come out and be a 15-point week, and I'm screwed. But if I have Kamara, Pierce, Pittman, Lamb, Tonyan, and Bateman all go off, it's going to be a very close match. Very close match.
And you still have Mostert. If Tua's not throwing well, they might run it.
Well, I'm hoping they hit him on screens. I'm hoping. There's a lot of things that could happen this week and either make me look like a genius, or I could be in where you were last week with 101 points. It just depends on how the game goes.
Well, I mean, if my brother's defense holds up, you could.
Oh yeah, I know. If your brother's force field, somehow takes over my teams, and they all suck, you'll see me with 101 points this week. But looking at the week, so guys, I've got myself, you've got Will, I've got you. I'm sure you've got you. I've got Tebow as long as he switches out that quarterback. If he doesn't switch the quarterback, I got Najee.
I have Najee as it stands.
And then I got Belichick and
I
you got
picked
Steiger. So looking at the games for the week, who you got tonight?
Cardinals.
You got Cardinals? I do too, just because of the Hopkins. If it wasn't for Hopkins, I'd honestly take New Orleans. But I believe the over-under for this game is low.
It's like 49, I think.
Oh, it is 49? Okay, yeah. I'm taking the over, and I'm taking...
Yeah, I think it's over.
And I'm taking the Cardinals. I think this could be like 40-37.
Ooh.
I think this could be a high-flying game.
More than both last week's combined.
Right. I think this could be a high-flying game with a lot of points, but I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay.
Cleveland, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I'm going with Baltimore this week. Jackson, if Bateman's in, it's the big thing for me. If he's not, I'm a little worried. It is going to be windy. What about Tampa Bay and Carolina?
Tampa Bay.
I'm going Tampa Bay, but I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Really?
I'm not sold on Tampa Bay right now. They don't look good.
I'm not going to argue with that. But Carolina hasn't looked good all year. C-Mac might go off today.
I'm not even saying it's going to be a high-scoring game.
That's a fair.
13-9.
But I still think after last week's loss to the Steelers, they're going to want to put up some points.
I would. I'd be livid right now.
Can they? But what you're saying.
There's very rare times that I'm actually being like, oh, Brady, their team has no cohesion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm surprised he's not flying to New England to be like, Gronk, please come bail my ass out. Or Edelman, please come bail my ass out.
I think, didn't Gronk get a job as a...
Well, he just got a job as a Fox, but so did Brady, and Brady still came back.
That's true. But that's why Gronk got it in the second line. But then we got Atlanta and Cincinnati.
I'm going with Cincinnati.
I'm leaning towards Cincinnati as well.
Atlanta's leading their division, but it's not a good division. You know who I got in the next game?
Yeah, I'm Lions, Cowboys, going for the Lions. Going for the Cowboys.
He said the Lions.
No.
I'm going for the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Jacksonville versus New York. I'm going for New York either way, which pains me to say. Really does.
I feel you, but I'm agreeing with that one. Giants. There's not going to be a lot of.
I'm hoping it's a low-scoring game, but I'm going for the Giants.
I think that's going to be.
I said I'm hoping.
I know you're hoping.
I didn't say it's going to be. I said I'm hoping.
Indy versus Tennessee. Tennessee.
At home. It's supposed to be nice. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Indy comes back with Pittman again and says, "Let's ball." I'm not sold on this, but I'm gonna go with Indy. I got a weird feeling.
All right, then we got Green Bay versus Washington. Green Bay.
I'm going Washington.
All right.
Washington at home. They're at home. Their defense has been good, and that new not new, but their running back that got shot earlier in the year in a carjacking, with him being back, Robinson. I think that he could be the difference maker, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. But I think that they're gonna squeeze it out.
That's a fair point. I see that, but I'll
even
stick
with the backup quarterback, because I know Wentz is out.
That's right.
So even with Heineke in, but if Heineke wins, it's going to make them look bad that they spent so much money on Wentz.
Then you have Jets versus Broncos. This one pains me.
I was going to say this one pains me even because I got to say it in front of Christina.
Jets.
The Jets.
Broncos have not been showing up, and we don't even know if Russell Wilson's going to play.
Right.
So then we have Texans Raiders.
Oh, did you see? They announced that Melvin Gordon is going to be the starting running back this week.
I did see that.
After everybody and their brother just went out and spent, if you have a fab budget, which we don't have fab budget, we need to talk about this for next year. Everybody and their brother that I saw spent like $30 out of a $100 budget on Tavius Murray, and now they're saying he's the backup. I'm like, oh man. So Houston versus Las Vegas.
I'm going to say Raiders.
I want to say the Raiders. I'll say the Raiders, but I think I'm curious what the line is. I'm gonna say the Raiders, but I got a feeling this is going to be a close game. I really think Damien Pierce is going to ball out. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 6-point game max.
Then we got Seahawks versus Chargers. This could be an interesting game.
It's going to be an interesting game. I think Eckler will squeeze it out. I think that's going to be the difference maker in this game, so I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm going to go Seahawks on this one. Just so we have...
how close I was to go Seahawks.
I know. I'm His name to the Chargers is you.
So Kansas City versus San Francisco.
Oh, going Kansas City.
I'm going Kansas City as well. I've got a bad feeling this is going to, like, people are hoping Kansas City is going to throw all over the place and score all kinds. I got a bad feeling this is going to be a letdown game.
Oh, kind of like the Chiefs Bills last week?
Yeah. Like, everybody's expecting 100 points, and it's going to be like 20.
Could be. Could be, not going to lie. Next team, Steelers, Dolphins. I'm obviously going for my Dolphins.
I'm gonna go for the Dolphins. I'm gonna pull for Tua to come back and look at least not hurt. And then
Monday night game, we got Bears, Patriots.
I'm gonna go New England. It's not even close for me.
Yeah, I'm going New England as well.
I think it's gonna be a.
So we only have 3 games we're differing on, and most of them, 2 of them were close anyway.
Yeah.
Either way, so we'll see. But before we finish, what are we doing for our dollar bet this week?
I haven't seen anything. What do you?
There's nothing stood out for me that I wanted to take a bet on.
No, I would say there's nothing like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you didn't say this or that.
The only thing I can think of, we did have 3 games we differed on. Who has the most ones they're right on?
Okay, I'm down with
So that's
that.
2 out of 3. That's an easy.
2 out of 3 as far as long as we don't tie.
How do we tie? Oh, a team ties. A team would have to tie.
Oh yeah, true. You're right. You're right.
So there's 3, so it makes it so that.
Okay, whoever wins the most. Cool.
Uh-huh.
I like that. Whoever wins the most, I get to put another $1 behind me.
I get to move one of those on the other side of this, not the football.
So, ready or not, guys, it's going to be an exciting week. I think we're going to have some better games this week. Not at least scoring games. That's what I care about with fantasy. We're going to see some actual scoring.
Hopefully less injuries.
Hopefully some less injuries this week, and it's going to be very interesting. You know, Champ versus Nate. Nate takes out Champ. That's a big move in the standings. Tebow takes out Najee's. That's a big move in the standings. That's tying a lot of things up. And if Steiger can take out Belichick yourself, that's going to be a big mix-up as well.
As long as I outscore him so that I can move out of last place.
Yeah, at least be second to last. And then obviously myself versus Will. I would love to see Will with at least 2 losses, not just 1. But everyone, have a great week.
Giving him lost.
We will talk to you guys on Tuesday. Tuesday we come back. Tuesday we'll be talking to you guys. Love the chat in the text chat, and have a great weekend. May the odds be ever in your favor.